This is a full circle skirt pattern. It goes all the way around like a complete circle, 360 degrees. It gives a lot of flair, but it also uses a lot of fabric. You can sometimes use as much as 3 to 4 yards of fabric depending on the size and length. Now, here is a half circle skirt pattern. It's only 180 degrees, half of a circle. You still get the nice flow and move, but you use much less fabric, about half the amount. A half circle skirt is a smart choice if you don't have much fabric or you just want something simple and quick to sew. In this video, you will learn how to draft a half circle skirt pattern step by step using these basic tools. You also need 2 accurate measurements. That's your waist circumference measurement, then skirt length measurement. Before we draft the skirt, we need to find a radius for the waist. So to get this, use this formula. So to draft a half circle skirt, that's 180 degree skirt, you need to first fold your fabric or paper in half like so. Then from the folded corner, fold unbiased like so. When folding it, make sure that everything is nice and even. Now that our paper is ready, we need our waist radius to be able to draw the waist curve or the waistline. So we will be using this formula. Please input your own measurements into the formula to get your own waist radius for the skirt. So for this illustration, I'm using 26 inches for the waist measurement. So 26 divided by the pi, which is 3.14, which gave me 8.28. So the 8.28 will be the number you use to draft the waistline for the skirt. To get the waistline for the skirt, I'll measure and mark 8.28 from the edge of the paper, just like so. So marking from that corner, from that edge, you measure and mark the 8.28 like so, all around to create a nice curve for the waistline. Join the marks to create the waist curve just like so. Still on the waistline, I'll go ahead and then add my seam allowance to it. So in this case, I'm using half an inch seam allowance on the waistline. So from the waistline I've just made, I'll measure up half inch and mark like so. Join the marks to create the seam allowance line just like so. Now we need our skirt length measurement. So from the main waistline, not the seam allowance line, from the main waistline, you measure down the skirt length you want for the skirt. So in this case, I'm using 19 inches for the skirt length. So from the waistline, I'll measure and mark 19 inches all around to create a nice curve, just like so. Join the marks to create the hem line, just like so. Now we need to add a hem allowance to the skirt. So we'll be adding 1 inch hem allowance to this skirt. So from the hem line, we'll measure down 1 inch and mark all around the hem line just like so. So you measure and mark 1 inch all around to get a nice curve for the hem allowance. Join the marks you've just made to create the hem allowance curve like so. Go ahead and label the part so that you know where to cut. Now go ahead and cut your pattern. Cut on the allowance lines and not the main lines. Now our half skirt pattern is ready. You can go ahead and cut this on your fabric, or if you are drafting it on a main fabric. Make sure when you are calculating the radius for the waist, don't forget to add the side seam allowance to the waist circumference measurement before calculating the radius for the waist. So if you're going to add 1 inch side seam allowance to the skirt, add that 1 inch to the measurement. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share with other sewing mates and friends. If you want to learn how to draft sewing patterns from the comfort of your home, check this playlist out. See you in my next one. Bye bye.